Hello everyone, semi-retired Bob here. I went from this to this in just a little under 7 months. Stick around to find out how. Hello everyone, semi-retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and some miscellaneous odds and ends. Today we're going to cover carnivore essentials. If this is your first time here, I want to say welcome and thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning viewer, I also want to thank you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you thought enough of my videos to come back and see another one. I have to tell you folks, these next couple of weeks are going to be hard. Because as you can see, I'm not out at the trail. I'm not wearing my hiking clothes. I have 2 base layers on and my big heavy sweatshirt, which it hasn't been cold enough until now to wear. It was 31 this morning. It's supposed to be 28 overnight tonight. And only supposed to get up into the mid 40s. It's about 44 degrees right now. And my body is letting me know it does not like cold weather. I don't remember it being this cold last year when I was down here. I just don't remember it. I'm pretty sure I would have remembered it being this cold. Oop, I gotta turn the camera a little bit. I have no idea if that's gonna come out okay or not, but the sun is directly behind me again. I know that because I can see my shadow on the ground directly in front of me. So I know you guys were getting blinded by the sun. If it keeps up too much longer like this, next winter I may have to look at going to southern Arizona or southern Texas or on down into Florida or something, because I do not like it this cold. Now granted, when comparing it to the weather in Omaha right now, it's much nicer here. But this kind of cold is not what I've signed up for. But let's go ahead and get into this topic today, the carnivore essentials. First, we have to explore what is essential. When a doctor says something is essential, it means you have to have it. There's no such, there's no such thing as an essential that your body can make. It has to, well, that's not exactly right. You can sometimes eat things that your body can then turn into something else. So the end product might not be essential, but the thing that you ate that leads to the end product, that's essential. Well, let's look at some of the fake essentials first. What's one of the things, the first time you tell somebody that you're on a carnivore diet, one of the things they're going to ask you is, well, how are you going to have sugar? Your body needs sugar. It's essential. technically they're sort of right, but if you're doing it properly, sugar is the end result. You don't have to actually eat the sugar to have sugar in your system. We covered this in the last video or the video before, I don't remember much, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. But once you're fully fat adapted through gluconeogenesis, your body can make all the sugar, glucose, that it needs for those cells that have to have sugar. It's a wonderful system, and if we just don't muck it up by getting ourselves metabolically unhealthy, which if you're watching this channel you probably are, just like me at some point or another. I of course am not metabolically unhealthy anymore. I covered that video might even been a month ago now. I don't remember exactly, but if you're watching this, you probably have at least one of the markers of metabolic syndrome, and you're trying to fix that. So don't dump extra carbs down your throat. Your body will make all the sugar you need. What's another thing they tell you? Oh, well, you got to have fiber. You need fiber in your diet. It's essential that you have fiber in your diet. Really? So you're telling me that I haven't gone to the restroom in 7 months? I assure you that's not the case. You're telling me that the guy I talked about in yesterday's video, Mr. Rodriguez, hasn't gone to the restroom in 39 years? Wow. He must weigh 600-700 pounds from all the stuff backed up in his system. No. Fiber is not essential. There's nothing, the whole point of fiber is that we can't digest it. That's why they added it to foods for whatever reason. Probably because it's cheap. And they can get a lot of what's basically just sawdust and add it into the food to bulk the food up without adding any cost to it. That's my guess. I don't know for sure. But not only is fiber not essential, it's contraindicated. You don't need fiber in your diet. Since you can't digest it, what's the point? Isn't the whole point of eating food so that your body can digest it and get the nutrients out of it? I think that's the case. Again, I'm sure there's a lot of other sciencey things that go into this. As we all know, Bob, the retired truck driver, does not really do science that well. And every time I try to talk about science, it kind of goes sideways. So we're just not going to go there. But I can tell you that fiber is not required in the human diet. Now, when you go to the bathroom, what is that? That's waste. And some people will think they're constipated when they're not. Just because when they were eating lots of fiber and other elements of the SAD diet, they would go to the bathroom at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, because they're eating a bunch of junk that the body can't use. Since this is the channel of full disclosure, I go about twice a week. And there's not really any effort involved in doing that. And yeah, I'm walking a little faster than normal because I'm trying to warm up a little bit. Because even with this big heavy sweatshirt on, it's a little on the chilly side out here today. But my knees are starting to loosen up a little bit. So hopefully I can I'd like to get 10 laps in today. Of course, I'm not going to record all 10 of them because you guys don't want an hour-long video of me just circling the parking lot. I know a few of you would like that because you like the music I'm adding. And what's the other thing? Let's just say people from the other side of the aisle. They always like to talk about, oh, well, if you don't eat these plants, or this plant, or that plant, or the other plant, you're not going to get the proper amount of phytonutrients. And they will sometimes say essential phytonutrients, which is, the point you can just shut them off and never listen to them again. Because just like I did with carbs, and just like I did with fiber, can somebody please tell me what an essential phytonutrient is? I'll wait. I need a little bird chirping noise in there. There's no such thing as an essential phytonutrient. I haven't even found somebody that can tell me what they think a phytonutrient is, other than, well, you get them from plants. Okay, well, name some of them. I think it's just some buzzword that people on the other side of the aisle have made up to try and make it sound like you need to eat a plant-based diet. I could be wrong. I could actually be dead right now and not know it. And my ghost is the one making these videos. Because I'm lacking in those phytonutrients they say that I need, because I haven't had any of that stuff for 7 months. Obviously, I'm not still healthy. So now that we've covered that, there's I forgot my note sheet again, it's in the trailer. But I was watching Anthony Chaffee interview Dr. Berry again. I watch all those types of things I can several times to not only get all the information out of them, but they're probably my two favorites. Dr. Sean Baker is very close. Professor Bart K is right up there. But if I could only watch 2 YouTube channels, it would be Dr. Barry and Dr. Chafee, because I really like their stuff, and those two together on the same screen just makes for a fun hour, even if I've heard it before. But part of where the fiber myth came from was, again, just observational correlation data that ended up not having any actual meaning. I mean, it's like the example that Professor K uses. You know, if I were to study cases of sunburn at the beach against number of ice cream sales at the beach, I would probably find a very strong correlation. The numbers would be similar. So of course, to prevent sunburn at the beach, we should limit the sale of ice cream at the beach. Well, as we all know, that's just dumb. No matter how much you want to twist the data, and believe me, my little brother is really big in statistics. That's one of his degrees of some sort. I know he's got a PhD in economics. But no matter how you twist the facts and figures, anybody with 2 brain cells to rub together to keep them warm are going to be able to tell you that limiting ice cream sales on the beach is going to have 0 effect on the number of sunburn patients you have. No matter what the stats say. That's just dumb. Well, that was the type of study, I don't remember who it was, but they were looking at fiber, and the example that Dr. Chafee used was, look at ancient Rome. They were aging in such a way that after a few generations, they thought, well, this is just normal. This is the way people age. These are the aches and pains and things that we get as we get older. And finally, somebody smartened up and said, no, that's not right at all. And that's when they discovered that the lead water pipes they were using were a bad idea. And it was the slow accumulation over time of minute bits of lead poisoning that were leading to a lot of their problems. And they were saying that right now, the Western diet is in its lead poisoning stage, talking about how, when we took the fat out of the American diet, well, you had to replace that nutrition with something. And since fat and protein and carbohydrates are the only 3 macronutrients we have to work with, if you take the fat out of the diet, you make up for it with more sugar. And right now, a lot of people aren't willing to admit that because it's what they've been trained to think and taught to think over the course of several decades. But hopefully at some point, Western civilization will wake up and go, hey, wait a minute. All these autoimmune conditions started to crop up in much greater numbers when we started pumping the Western diet full of sugar. Maybe we ought to take another look at that. But that's hard research to do. Not only because you have to do good research, you have to control the environment and control what the people are actually eating, which means, you have to put them in some kind of a barrack situation or lab situation where you're controlling everything else to get any kind of usable results. And studies like that, well, I'm sure there's people just like me. I would happily sign up for a study like that if I thought it would help a lot of people. The problem, of course, is getting someone to fund that research. Because at the end of the day, most of the people that are funding research like that are wanting to know at the end of the study what pharmaceutical or patent are we going to be able to create to make us lots of money so that we get all of our research dollars back 100-fold or 1,000-fold even at the cost of some drugs these days. So research like that is very hard to do and hard to get funded. But hopefully we get some of it someday to get the Western diet out of its lead pipe era. We'll pause here for a second because there's a big loud truck coming, and the further I can stay away from that, the better off we are. So, in the interest of keeping things simple, like I try to do on this channel on a daily basis, what's the first essential of the carnivore diet? Eat the meat. Preferably ruminant meat, like cows, sheep, goats, bison, deer. As I understand it, camel, if you're in the right section of the world, camel is also a ruminant animal. But if you don't like any of that and you decide that pork is your meat of choice and you get good results from that, go ahead and eat pork. Now, outside of the bacon, the pork belly section, you're probably going to have to add some fat, whether it be cook it in bacon grease or cook it in butter or ghee or whatever you cook it in. You're going to have to add some fat. And if chicken is your meat of choice, you're going to have to add some fat to that as well. I personally can't imagine anyone not liking a good steak. Or even the way I cook my roasts, like a great big steak. It's obviously not as good a cut of meat, but it'll do. I love my burgers, my burger meat. I actually had 8 quarter-pound patties last night for my food. Now, of course, that's pre-cooked weight, so after I cooked them down, I added just a little thin piece of butter to the top of each one just to up the fat content a little bit more, because it was not as fatty a meat, ground meat, as I usually buy. But they had a little sale on the burger patties, so I got those. And I have a great big roast out thawing for tonight. So, again, essential number 1, eat the meat, add the fat if needed. Essential number 2, add the salt. Your body needs salt. Every cell in your body needs salt to function properly. It's not the sodium, it's not the salt that's raising your blood pressure. It's the inappropriate inflammation that stores all the excess salt that raises your blood pressure. So once you start this way of eating and you start dumping out all of your inappropriate inflammation, you're going to need some salt. I talked a few videos ago about electrolytes. Some of you may need to add some electrolytes, some may not. But to keep this concept simple, eat the meat, add the salt. The number 3 essential, drink the water. Now this can, a lot of people like sparkling water. Some people like tap water. I've got a filter thing in my trailer. I filter all the tap water down here into that. Because I didn't used to notice it so much. But now that I've been eating fairly clean for the last 7 months, I can literally smell the chlorine coming off the water as I fill up my little water carrier that I carry it out and put it in my filter with. So who knows what else is in that water? I don't know. So those are the true 3 essentials. Oh, and along with drinking the water, I personally cut out diet sodas. But if drinking a diet soda is something that keeps you on track, by all means, have some diet soda. If the flavored sparkling waters is what keeps you on track, by all means, have some. As I've said many times, I'm not dogmatic about the stuff. I'm not going to get mad at you for doing something, as long as what you're doing works for you and you're getting results. No reason to change. And these people that jump on carnivore sites and say, oh, you can't have that, that's not carnivore, it doesn't come from an animal. The heck with that. If it's working for you, there's no reason to change. Time to look at what you're eating and drinking is when you stop having results. So what are the 3 essentials of the carnivore diet? We have to track everything we eat. No. for most people, your body will let you know. I mean, one of the examples Dr. Barry uses is, do you need to track how often you breathe in a minute? Do you even know how often you breathe in a minute? Well, if you don't know, I've got this pulse oximeter I can sell you. And that'll make sure you're getting enough oxygen in your blood and breathing enough. No, you don't need any of that stuff. The 3 essentials of a carnivore diet: eat the meat, add the salt, drink the water. All these other things are 10% problems with 10% solutions. Eat the meat, add the salt, and drink the water will get you 90% of the way to where you want to be. I'll have some more thoughts in a little bit, but for now, let's cue the music. Okay, cut the music. Thank you. I know one of the first questions somebody out there is going to ask is, well, Bob, if that sweatshirt keeps you so warm, why don't you just wear that out onto the trail? Well, there's a little known saying outside the hiking community, and that is cotton kills. Because if you're in a situation like yesterday where it could have started raining at any time, cotton gets very wet very fast, and it takes forever to dry, and it sucks up a lot of water, so it gets very heavy. And cotton things like this sweatshirt, if it's wet, it loses all of its warming properties. So if this were wet, not only would the water be making me colder, but it'd be like I was walking around out here without the sweatshirt on at all. It would actually be worse, because I'd have no sweatshirt, but also extra weight and the wetness. So if you're going out into a situation where you could get rained on, don't wear cotton. That's why all good hiking stuff is a little more expensive, because they don't make it with cotton. So is everybody ready? Christmas, less than 2 weeks away. Got all your shopping done? Thought I felt my truck moving, but it was just me sinking further into the bumper. Let me know down below if you got all your shopping done. I know I'm completely done. I don't buy much. I get a gift for each of my sisters and my brother. I try to send a little money to my niece and my nephew. And I've got a couple of Dr. Barry's Lies My Doctor Told Me books on order. They should be here before Christmas, because there's a couple people here I want to give that book to. But that's really about all I'm going to do for Christmas this year. I'm not planning on going anywhere unless I get invited by somebody here at the church, which they were very generous with checking on Thanksgiving. So I can assume I'm going to get some invites, but Christmas seems like even more of a family day than Thanksgiving. So what I'm probably going to do is just get myself a nice steak and not go anywhere for Christmas. But yeah, so I hope you all have your plans in place. We haven't talked about it much this month, but let's remember our plan for the Christmas holiday. It's coming up. Parties have already started. So if you're gonna intentionally come off the wagon for a particular holiday party, just make sure you have your plan in place, your food thawed and ready to go, so you get right back on the wagon the next day. A little one-day blip is not going to completely derail you, as long as you understand that it's a one-day blip. Don't let that one-day blip turn into a 2 or 3 or a 4-day blip, because then you've gone down the rabbit hole that's really hard to come back from. I know family members always want to send leftovers home with you, and if they've got some prime rib or some roast or some brisket or even some ham or turkey that they want to send home with you, oh yeah, take that stuff home with you. But all the desserts and breads and all the other stuff that's usually left over, don't even bring it into the house. Think, well, I'll just take a little bit and have just a little bit tomorrow. Don't do it. We made a plan a month ago. I'll wait till the airplane gets on down the highway here. We made a plan a month ago. Stick with it. Keep going. And get ready for January. January is National Carnivore Month. And I'm going to ask a lot of you to join me on a certain way of eating. But that's for another day. But yeah, the essentials. Just keep it simple. Eat the meat, add the salt, drink the water. I wanted to try an electrolyte experiment other than the keto chow mineral drops that I have. But I just can't afford things like Drink LMNT. So I went and found a fairly clean one on Amazon. It was like $23 for 20 packets. I want to try adding them into my big bottle of water just to see if I can feel any different. I already feel pretty good. But who knows, maybe I am short of a little bit of electrolyte. We'll see. I'll let you know when that stuff comes in. I'll show it to you and all that kind of stuff. It's supposed to be even colder tomorrow. So tomorrow's video might end up being a quick sit down and chat video. I haven't decided yet. We'll see what happens. Maybe the sun will still be out. It is supposed to rain tomorrow night. So if there's clouds moving in, I won't be able to wear this and plan on it keeping warm. So we'll see what happens. But just like the last time, I'll keep you posted in the community tab. So make sure you check that on an occasional basis. But don't forget to get out there, be 1% better. I will see you tomorrow.